with that many injuries. He's lucky to have a lot of boys that have been coming out to practice by the looks of it.
Lee Powell is the referee for this one. He's the man in the middle as the Lisgar Lords, number 12, Zach Como, prepares to get this one underway. And into the wind he goes. Hillcrest will have the benefit of a pretty ferocious wind here in the first half. They play 30-minute halves in high school rugby, and now Hillcrest beginning to try to move forward using a rather depleted front row.
Hillcrest will really have to make use of some strike runners for this to make up for the missing players.
Tackle there. Lou Patosha wearing number 1 for Lisgar. Hillcrest continues to move the ball forward. And penalty called against Lisgar. It'll be a penalty kick. I suppose Lee Powell is allowing them to play the advantage there.
Yeah, he's gone back to the previous infraction.
So no doubt the Hawks, that's number 10, Mason Dingwall, trying to kick that, and here's a bobble ball picked up by the Hawks. Were it not for a great tackle by David Shaw, the Hawks might be up 5-0 and attempting a convert.
That's a wonderful catch by Hillcrest. But at the same time, a great tackle by Lisgar.
Do you foresee Hillcrest kicking or trying to kick as perhaps more today than they would normally because of the fact that they've got such...
Kicking would be a good option for them because of their injuries. They can make use of most of their injuries are in their forwards, so they can make use of their backs, the extra speed out in the back, taking advantage of all the holes that they can make with the kicking. So
yeah, it's going to be pretty tough for Hillcrest to move the ball against Lisgar. Although, looking at the two teams, as you can see them now, there doesn't seem to be an edge either way in size up front.
No, I have a feeling we're going to be in for an equal game here. Hillcrest is going to push hard, and Lisgar doesn't want to lose their undefeated streak here.
Brendan DeWalt getting set to put the ball in for Lisgar. Ball's in. Out once again, Lisgar. It's Tony Nguyen trying to move it forward. Make that Ryan Liu, number 16. And he gets no further than a couple of meters forward. And again, another scrum call. The ball knocked on there. That's the official call from referee Lee Powell.
Brendan, you only have to be 5 meters.
So Brendan DeWalt, again, getting ready to set the ball in. Elliot Boland, the other scrum half right beside him. Ball picked up by Lisgar, and they go blind. Ball loose, scooped up by Hillcrest. That was number 23, Pat Barton. And the ball comes out wide again. Mason Dingwall keeps the legs going and gets beyond the Lisgar 10-meter line. Another flip out. Corey Hogan drops the shoulder and brings the ball to ground. Brendan LaSalle tries to drive it further, but Lisgar has an answer defensively for every offensive thrust that Hillcrest throws their way. But this still very, very early, under 4 minutes gone here in the opening half, and 30-minute halves. I would venture to say that these teams are going to play pretty even until the last 15 minutes, and then the team that has the better fitness level is going to really show its stuff.
And that'll be just a matter of the waiting game. We'll just have to wait and see which one comes out on top.
Again, most of the play centered around midfield to this point. Hillcrest with number 27, Justice Graziati, bringing the ball to ground. Again, another scrum for Lisgar.
That was a really messy ball in there. That the ball was not coming out after that maul. Hillcrest can't afford to let the ball be held up like that if they want to even challenge Lisgar here today.
And again, ball being set in just on the Lisgar side of midfield. Ball's out once again, scooped up there by David Schau. Tries to go out wide for Jack Krentz on the far side, blind. Again, Nick Rogers drops the shoulder down. Lisgar controls. Stephen Walker driving through. Getting to the Hillcrest 10-meter line before he's stopped. Lots of pluck in these Hillcrest Hawks. They're not going to go away without a fight. Penalty called against the Hawks. Hands in.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. And Hillcrest should know better than to make a mistake like that this late in their season. If they're putting their hands in the ruck, then there's serious problems.
Ball into touch on the full. Should be a Lisgar line out directly in front of the Lord's bench. Inside the 10-meter line for the Hillcrest Hawks. Nick Rogers. Hooker set to throw the ball in, waiting for the indication from referee Lee Powell. And so much at stake here on these lineouts, especially with that wind starting to freshen. It's really picked up.
It can blow the ball away from being a straight line out into just one of the other team's hands and just give them the benefit.
Brandon DeWalt on the outside, offloads. That's scooped up nicely by Elliot Boland, the other scrum half. Boland back defensively. Now Hillcrest trying to go wide. They've got to utilize their speed. Johnny Rene trying to get to the outside. Rene cutting back in.
Oh, Hillcrest was not able to use the overlap that they had there. I think if they had had a little bit more communication, they would have been able to come up that side and possibly get through the Lisgar Lords.
Well, if they're going to have any success this afternoon, Dingwall forgot to touch the ball down, and Lee Powell right there. And we talked about that before this one, that Hillcrest is getting called for these kinds of fundamental mistakes.
Oh, it is just he didn't put it through Lee Powell's mark, and I think that was the problem there. If it just slowed down, maybe taken a few breaths, he would have been able to set off and go off from the right spot as opposed to where he himself deemed it was the spot to go from.
Ball into touch on the full Hillcrest line out. Corey Hogan getting set to throw the ball in. Lisgar, Hillcrest on the far side went for the long line, or the short line out. They go the long one this time. Flip outside, Johnny able to make the catch, and Johnny Rene with some room on the right side, cutting back in. Johnny Rene wrapped up there by Nick Rogers, and he's thrown into touch, but a great open field run by Johnny Rene.
Well, that's amazing. He was able to spin away from the contact there. The thing with Johnny is that he doesn't. Johnny Rene doesn't run in a straight line, so he spends a lot of his energy running across the field a lot when he could just be running up and down.
While looking for some space, the good ones try to create the space for themselves, and Johnny's a good one.
And he's trying to do that he is.
Stephen Walker off the line out, ball picked up there. Nathan Quinn, he's taken down. Elliot Boland with it, and he's gathered up and tossed into touch. And this time it'll be a line out for the Lisgar Lords. Just outside the Lisgar 22. And Lisgar, although they may be undefeated, they know they're in tough. They're not taking anything for granted here.
No, and they're really close to the try zone right now, so the pressure is on.
Lisgar defending, trying to move the ball forward. Little spin out there by DeWalt, and kick to midfield. It's number 22, Connor Grimes, wrapped up. Ball's out. Comes to the wide side once again. And here's a good run here by Brendan LaSalle to the 22, just inside the 22. Again, Torrey Morris tries to drive it forward. Played back by the Lords. Ruck forming. DeWalt plays it out. And penalty called against Hillcrest.
And I think this is where we're going to start to see where Hillcrest is missing those men because they lost it in the ruck there. They've got another penalty here.
And penalties are really going to play a dominant role, especially in the second half once these two sides switch ends and that wind freshening once again. Hillcrest trying to take advantage of the wind that ball knocked on. Played on the advantage by Lisgar.
Really a perfect example there of why you have to catch the ball on the full and not let it bounce.
Nick Rogers being drilled into the turf.
That didn't look comfortable.
Alex Stoddard moving forward. There's DeWalt. Back out for Z Jin. Jin moves that one outside. Lisgar controlling, and how quickly the complexion of this one has changed. Not a minute ago, Hillcrest was pressing at the Lisgar 22 or just inside. Now, Lisgar has moved the ball 40 meters.
And this is why Lisgar is first in their standings with an undefeated record right now. It's because they can change pace like this so quickly.
Zijin lost it, picked it up, dropped it off once again. Lisgar gets it. DeWalt offloads. Hillcrest gains control. Here's Johnny Rene looking for some space. He offloads to the outside. Good burst of speed through there. And taken down, Zach Como brings Jonah Trevor Deutsch to the turf off the good play by Johnny Rene to spring him free. But again, Trevor Deutsch not really with a lot of momentum. You have to offload while these guys are in full flight.
Yeah, he I think he got the ball not running fast enough, anywhere near fast enough, and Johnny is such a runner that a lot of other runners
find it difficult to keep up with him.
Find it difficult to keep up with him. So
Hillcrest spread wide on this Lisgar line out. Nick Rogers to throw it in. Rogers puts the ball in, and Hillcrest gains possession. Hogan flipped that one into the middle for LaSalle, and he was wrapped up almost immediately.
And you could really see the way, I'm not sure if we saw this on tape, but the way the wind was affecting that long pass, it was starting to push it forward. It could have been seen to be a forward pass by Lee Powell.
It could have been seen that way, but we both know that it was just the wind grabbing the ball.
Exactly.
That ball kicked into touch on the full. And again, another Lisgar line out on the Hillcrest side of midfield.
Lisgar is slowly marching up the sideline with their lineouts as long as they can retain possession here.
Put in by Nick Rogers. Hillcrest trying to go wide. Zijin. Little crossover underneath for Jordan Andrews. Andrews loses control. It's picked up. Dingwall, I believe, gets tossed around. And the Maul moving toward the Hillcrest try line. Hillcrest gaining possession once again. Flipped out to the wide side. A good run by Jonah Trevor Deutsch. And he's taken down again. Bobbled ball by Brendan DeWalt. And Lee Powell had already called a penalty.
I think when Trevor Deutsch is getting the ball, he's not quite got enough pace or the weight to break through these tackles. He looks like a rather slight winger here. And And we've got some
substitutions. Both number 3s, Nathan Quinn and Jacob Halderson, coming off for Lisgar. And not sure which fresh bodies. Oh, there's going to be a jersey change here.
This is what happens when you leave your jersey at home in senior rugby.
Don't you hate when that happens? I know as a coach it would drive me crazy. Jin. Little offload once again for Jack Krentz. He drops the shoulder and moves about 10 meters further. Lisgar again pressing. Nick Rogers pushes the maul forward, but again, another penalty called against Hillcrest. And against the wind from directly in front of the post. Does Hillcrest go at goal here? Or does Lisgar go at goal? I think they're waiting for the tee.
Here comes the tee, so they're going to go for that. The wind doesn't seem quite as strong right now looking at the flags as it was about 5 minutes ago.
Well, if Lisgar can steal a penalty goal here, that is going to speak volumes in the second half when Hillcrest is going to have a lot of trouble moving against the wind.
And it sets the pace well. They got a good 3 points right at the start.
Here's the kick.
That looks good to me.
It is up and through. Sean Chi with the kick. 3-0 Lisgar.
Hillcrest is coming back up strong by the looks of it, and Lisgar is still setting up here. We can see a good replay of this kick here. Not even a doubt that that was going over. It went straight over.
And the wind may have affected that one and held it up, but it just had enough to crest over the bar. And
that was a knock-on by Lisgar. It looked like he just lost the ball out of his hands there when he went into contact.
So, with all of the injuries, has that affected Hillcrest's kicking game? Do they have somebody that can move in and put the ball through the post from 30 meters out?
From what I've been talking to Coach Nybogi about it before the game, he was telling me that it didn't actually affect any of his kickers. So Hillcrest should be all right.
A ways out yet. About 5 meters outside the Lisgar 22. Dingwall wrapped up there nicely by Alex Stoddard. Hillcrest will try to take it wide again. Johnny Rene. Here's Connor Grimes. He's taken down.
Some good pace on Grimes there when he was coming into the line.
And again. And Hillcrest will get a penalty here. They just touch it quickly. And LaSalle moves it to Dingwall. Dingwall takes a couple of steps forward, gets to the 22, but no further.
Well, Lisgar's managed to stay on their feet this time. That's what they were penalized for previously.
Oh, big shoulder drop there from Tony Nguyen. And he packs a mean punch when he's going through, that's for sure.
I wouldn't want to be on the other side of that one. That one looked like it hurt.
Hillcrest needs to get possession here. Just outside the Lisgar 22. And they do get a penalty. Do they go at goal here?
If the camera moves over, we could see that Coach Nybogi is signaling for the kick.
Yes, I think that's a good call.
Tie it up here and give Hillcrest a little bit of the momentum of 3 points on the board.
Well, if successful, it'll be the first point scored against Lisgar this season.
And that'll be a little bit of bragging rights for Hillcrest if they can get those points up on the board.
Mason Dingwall, right on the Lisgar 22-meter line.
He's got the wind with him as well for this one. So
he'll need it. And he'll have to try and, I guess, aim for the right post and try and hook it in.
Yeah, and we have to remember, though, that the ball is still live after this. So if Lisgar catches it, they can run it back down hard at Hillcrest, which I'm sure they'll do if it doesn't go over.
Given the room.
Yeah, they've got lots of room, and they've got a strong team.
Dingwall's kick is up and wide left. 22-meter drop. Hillcrest with an opportunity, and Dingwall had more than enough leg on that kick. It just went wide left.
Oh, that looks so close to me. Close isn't good enough, unfortunately.
Close only counts in horseshoes, grenades, and thermonuclear war.
That's the analogy I was looking for, actually.
Lisgar trying to move it up. That's Jung Young Chang for Jack Krentz. Nick Rogers tries to go through. Ruck forms. Lisgar gets it. DeWalt flips that one out to Jinjan. Here's some room. Big open field hit there from Mac Burns. But now, Hoshizaki still on his feet. About 10 meters out. Lisgar now pressing. About a meter out. They lose control. Ball's loose. And a try is signaled. Lisgar leads it 8-0. No try signal.
Penalty.
Penalty against Hillcrest along the line. We're back in action. Here's Hoshizaki trying to get through. Connor Grimes tick him down.
Looked like that was a knock on. Yeah, it was the knock on right there that he went back to.
So now the line out about 3 meters out. Hillcrest controls. Get it into their own end. Dingwall kicks that one into touch on the full, but it stayed inside the 22.
And Lisgar wasn't even competing for that line out. I would have thought that they would have had a jumper up there to compete, maybe win the ball off Hillcrest and go for an easy 5 points.
Nothing's easy in this game.
The commentating is the easiest part, I think, compared to the actual playing.
Well, this is the only way I'd be part of it. Again, Hillcrest off the line out. And is that going to be a 5-meter scrum? No, another line out.
It was a very messy ball, and I think it went off the jumper's hands and out of bounds here. So we'll see a Lisgar line out this time.
Lisgar line out. Meters from the Hillcrest try line. James Erskine is in, and Lisgar leads it 8-0.
Good try by Lisgar, good 5 points.
James Erskine driving forward. Tough to bring the big guys down from a couple of meters out. You think he's happy?
That's a very happy man. It might have been his first try this season.
It looks like it might have been his first try ever. There's nothing wrong with that. Whoop it up, James. You've got your Lisgar Lords up by 8. And
that was a very good try. He took advantage of getting the ball right at the end, and Hillcrest wasn't able to make their tackles.
And Thomas Hoshizaki getting set. This is going to take almost everything he's got. He's got a pretty brisk wind into his face, and he's kicking from about 25 meters out.
I hope he's got the leg to push this ball over the crossbars.
Here's the kick. It looks good. Has it got enough? It is good.
That's another 2 points for Lisgar. Add that up on the board.
10-0. Lisgar Lords. And you have to wonder, Gavin, whether or not this is something that the Hillcrest Hawks can rebound from.
Well, we're still first half, so we will have to see. Coming back from a 10-point difference will be difficult for them.
And And they'll be going against the wind in the second half.
This half would have been the time for Hillcrest to make their make any moves that they were going to make. What with the wind the way it is.
Oh, another great run there by Zijin. And Krentz on the outside. Krentz cuts in. Krentz will score. Jack Krentz touches down directly in front of the posts. 15-0. And the Lords are starting to pull away.
That's 3 times that Lisgar has been able to take advantage of that side over there with that back line over there in the corner. That is going to be a very dangerous side for Hillcrest if they don't tighten up their tackling. So 1 missed tackle there, 2 missed tackles, 3. So Lisgar was able to get a runner in there with 3 missed tackles for a very solid 5 points.
Thomas Hoshizaki puts it up and puts it through. 17-0 Lisgar. Wow. And it didn't take long for Lisgar. It took him 3 minutes to score those 2 big tries. And what does head coach Jeremy Nybogi say to his side at the break in order for them to stay in this one? 17-0 against an undefeated team that's first place in the East. Wow. Your work's cut out for you.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the speeches that I've heard from previous coaches, and he isn't going to be a very happy man at half.
Zijin. Oh! Jack. Or Zach, make that Jordan Andrews dropping the shoulder down on the Hillcrest Hawks once again. There's Rogers driving forward. Zijin moves the ball to the outside, picked up once again. Here is Sean Chi, and Chi scores another try.
There is something going on that side of the field. I think it's a hole that Lisgar has found, and I think if they continue to exploit this hole, that they're going to continue to score.
Yeah, and if Hillcrest isn't going to make an adjustment and plug that hole, Lisgar's going to take it all day.
Hillcrest was there to make that last tackle, but it was just a little bit too late. And that's 2 tries there. That's 5 times now that they've been able to exploit that side and score.
Hoshizaki. Again, he's made 1 convert from this far out before this time. A little short, a little wide left, but at this particular point, it doesn't really matter because the Lords are in tremendous control of this one, leading 22-0 with a couple of minutes left in the opening half.
Yeah, this is a very, very strong start by Lisgar, and they've definitely got into Hillcrest the head of the Hillcrest team right now, I think, and I'm sure they'll be able to take advantage of anything that they've done so far right now.
Mason Dingwall kicks it away. Erskine picks it up for the Lords. Drops that off for Sizwe Magubane. And again, Lisgar. That's Musashi Takara. Moved it forward. Nathan Quinn drops that off for Magubane. And a ball knocked on. Penalty. Oh, it'll be a Hillcrest scrum with 30 seconds of unofficial time left here in this first half.
Well, really have to see if Hillcrest can use them, or if Lisgar takes complete advantage of these last 30 seconds. And
3 tries in 6 minutes. That is definitely tough to rebound from, but the Hillcrest Hawks in tough. Most definitely, folks. 6 starters out of their lineup, and they come up against the undefeated Lisgar Lords.
I can imagine the pep talk that they'll be getting at half is that it's still a 0-0 game and that they need to come back for it.
Little grubber by Dingwall, picked up by the Lords. Oh, and a superb move by Jun Young Chang to move the ball up. And there is the end of the first half. Great read by Chang to take the ball upfield when it appeared that the Hawks thought he was going to offload and just try to maybe use up as much space as he could. Instead, he took off, found a seam, and every minute of the last 10, Hillcrest has been in tough. Your thoughts on the first half?
Ooh, Lisgar has really exploited the far side of the field, and they've done it every single time.
22-0 Lisgar at the half. We'll be back with more. You're watching Game Day on Rogers TV.
Rogers Game Day made possible by Coonstat Sports. With 3 convenient locations in the Ottawa area. Coonstat Sports, chain store prices, family store service.
Rogers Nextbox 2.0. You love TV.
Yeah, just moving in, thought we'd upgrade from satellite.
Yeah, so now you can watch recorded shows from any room, live TV on your tablet, and Rogers gives you one free for 3 years.
It even works in the garage.
Well, yeah, but who would... Welcome to the neighborhood.
Moving? Upgrade to Rogers Nextbox 2.0. Free for 3 years when you sign up.
Champions are born on the street. Hockey Night in Canada's Play On is back. It's the world's greatest 4-on-4 street hockey tournament, and anyone can play. Is your team in? Canada's largest sports festival visits Ottawa, June 2nd and 3rd at Scotiabank Place. For all details and to register your team, visit playon.ca. Hockey Night in Canada's Play On.
Welcome back to Hillcrest High School. 3 tries in the last 7 minutes of the first half by the Lisgar Lords. And this one is 22-0 at the end of the first half. James Erskine, Jack Krentz, and Sean Chi with the tries for Lisgar. And Hillcrest in tough. Dan Mooney, Gavin McOney. Glad to have you along for the ride, folks, for this one.
We'll have to really see here, Dan, whether or not Hillcrest can make use of the second half, or Lisgar will be able to use the wind here to their advantage.
Well, that wind has not diminished very much since the first half, and Hillcrest will try to take advantage of a penalty here against Lisgar.
Well, Hillcrest kicker's coming in here right now to take the kick by the looks of it.
Mason Dingwall will attempt to kick this out on the full. And it does indeed go into touch on the full. Lisgar line out or Hillcrest line out rather, inside Lisgar territory, about 12 meters out from the Lisgar 22. Corey Hogan sends it in. Hogan offloads that for Pat Barton. Barton into the game now for Hillcrest. Hogan again. Unable to get a lot of momentum before dropping the shoulder, and Hillcrest will try and move that maul forward.
That looks like a very messy ball in there.
Indeed, off of the knee of one of the Hillcrest Hawks. I believe it might have been Ryan Kidman.
Didn't look like the scrum half was able to really get his hands on that ball just because it's so messy in there.
Again, Hillcrest tries to drive forward. That time it was Omar Shaheen. Hillcrest again. Sam McIntosh barrels forward. Johnny Rene trying to set up in motion wide. It's flipped out for number 19, Mike Anderson. Anderson moves it about 3 meters forward. Johnny Rene. Rene. You're right, Gavin. He doesn't run forward. He goes juking side to side, and they can't bring him down.
He must waste so much energy going back and forth, when he could just... He runs about double the distance when he runs.
Dingwall. Jin right there to force Dingwall back inside. And now the maul forms and Hillcrest tries to move it forward.
Managed to hold Hillcrest up. Hillcrest really needs to get down on the ground so they can form that ruck and take advantage of where their strengths are.
Well, it's about ball position, field position, and fundamentals. And with 6 new players in the lineup, it's tough. Their timing's a little off. They haven't practiced. They don't train nearly as often as they probably should.
6 new guys in the lineup. You're not familiar with them.
There you go.
You start to learn where the other guy is going to be on the field, and you just know that he's going to be there. And when those guys are off the field for injuries, it also throws your team in a funk. You don't know who's going to get hurt next, whether you're going to get to play with those guys again.
Lisgar with the grub downfield, picked up by Connor Grimes, and he sends it right back the other way. That one rolls into touch.
Watch the quick! Watch the quick!
And
they've marked the line there.
Touchdown.
They're looking for the quick line out there, but it looks like Burns was there to get there in time to mark the line out so that Lisgar didn't throw it in quick without Hillcrest actually being there. That's what happens when your forwards don't get around the field fast enough. The backs on the other team can take advantage of it.
Lisgar line out. All the way to the end of it, scooped up by the Lords. I'm not sure who came up with that ball, but it was more, look what I found.
It's look what I found, a penalty.
So, Hillcrest now, the ball will be on the foot of Mason Dingwall. Again, Dingwall kicks that ball into touch on the full, well inside the Lisgar 22 this time. So, Hillcrest played a decent first part of the first half, pressing Lisgar. They got into a little funk in the last 7 minutes of the half, but again, it's more about ball control, and Hillcrest is having some success moving the ball between the 22s.
Yeah, Hillcrest can go back and forth, and they're just not taking advantage of what they've got going on for them. They'll lose the ball in contact in a ruck or in a maul, and all the distance that they've made, they just lose in an instant.
Again, back out. That's out for Musashi Takara. And again, what's the call? It's a penalty against Hillcrest. Do they down 22? They're going to go for a try. They could have kicked directly in front of the posts.
Yeah, but at this point, the 3 points won't make a dent in Lisgar's 22.
No, but it will be a psychological barrier overcome because Lisgar is yet to give up a point this season.
Be whether or not the Lisgar 22 points has gotten into Hillcrest's kicker yet. Oh, I saw some hands up in the air for Hillcrest. It'll be whether or not that was successful.
Okay, continue to press, and you're right. It wouldn't make a dent in the score, and they want to score the try. That might have more of a beneficial effect, but they have to maintain possession of the ball.
And as we can see, they lost it again.
That ball into touch on the full well into touch on the full, and that Lisgar took full advantage of the wind at their back on that play, and they've moved the ball up about 30 meters on that one kick.
Yeah, Hillcrest, it was unfortunate that they lost the ball there because they were so close to the line, but right now Lisgar is just not making those mistakes that Hillcrest would be able to exploit right now.
Head coach Jack Ruff on the near side for Lisgar. Jeremy Nabogi as well, and Lisgar again winning those battles. And there's the quick hit for Zach Como. Como cutting back in. Connor Grimes slows him down. Anderson gets there, offloaded, and here's Krentz. He's in for his second try of the match. Jack Krentz makes it 27-0 Lisgar.
Right here, you're going to see how they're able to break tackles, and Hillcrest just is not making those tackles. Like,
there's
so
a big
close.
Offload right there, and that's to Hoshizaki, and he saw Krentz. And Jack Krentz has been getting the job done in this one. 2 tries, and Lisgar well in control of this match. So now, Lisgar will send out Z Jin to kick this convert.
So far, he's had a fairly good kicking record, so I doubt that the wind will bug him very much, and that was good.
Well, that's Zin's first convert of this one. Hoshizaki did all the kicking up until this point, and Z Jin certainly making a case for himself. I want to be the #1 guy.
Yeah. Lisgar's got some good kickers by the looks of it.
29-0. Lisgar playing for first place. Hillcrest now playing for pride. That goes into touch on the full. Off the kick, and Lisgar will take over in great field position here. That kick from Dingwall into touch on the full as you look at Jack Krentz. 2 tries. A great run in the first half of about 25 meters, and a wonderful finish on that second try from about 7 meters out. Krentz got the ball, moved it in, touched it down. He's been successful in touching down both his tries directly in front of the post, not posing any problems for kickers to convert.
And that just makes it so much easier for the kicker when he has to make that kick. It's when he's out in the corners when you really start to see those missed kicks.
There's Rogers. No, make that. That's number 29. Is that Wahidi? No, it's number 9, Brendan DeWalt. Here's Krentz. Krentz. Ball's loose in the ruck, and several Lisgar Lords down with elbows over ears in a protective mode in that ruck.
You got to protect your head, and
no doubt. Here's DeWalt, Brendan DeWalt for Lisgar. Just feeds that one for Nathan Quinn.
Hillcrest was able to make a tackle there as opposed to in their open field.
Again, Hillcrest trying to power through. Looks like Omar Shaheen, who tried to bust through, as Jeremy Nabogi has got his biggest guys out there for Hillcrest as Dingwall kicks that one into the Lisgar bench. It will be another Hillcrest line out. But body language saying everything. You look at the Hillcrest, you look at the Lisgar guys up 29-0 on the sidelines. They're engaged, they're watching the game, they're into it, they're seeing what their guys are doing right.
Yeah, or even when the boys go to their line out, the Lisgar Lords have their head high, and Hillcrest, they look tired. They've got their head hanging a little low, and
well, they're in tough, and they know that. But now's the time for pride to show. Flipped out. Here's Johnny Rene. Rene trying to get it to the outside. Rene cuts back inside. Johnny Rene with some speed. Johnny Rene cutting back inside. Johnny Rene still on his feet, getting to the outside. Nick Rogers chases him down.
perfect example of Johnny Rene running laterally there, but he definitely exploited the holes there as a phenomenal runner.
Here's Hillcrest again. Mason Dingwall, wrapped up by Zi Jin. Finally, Dingwall takes it to ground.
2 guys on his back.
Flipped out again. Barton offloads that for Vincent Gianet. Gianet held up by the Lords. Hillcrest showing a lot of pride. Johnny Rene on the outside trying to feed it out for Trevor Deutsch. That one didn't work out. Lisgar gets possession. Krentz comes up with the ball. Ruck forms. Right at the Lisgar 22. Sorry, Gavin.
I was going to say, that's got to hurt for Hillcrest. They've made this run. They can see the line, and they've lost it again.
Lee Powell calling play. Yeah, they developed all this momentum, and then Lisgar is successful in just stopping them.
I think it just comes down to the fact that Lisgar can make their tackles the first time, and they're there to ruck over and ruck over hard, and they win the ball back.
Lisgar scrum. Ball's in. Scrum starts to wheel a little bit. Lisgar gets it out. Zi Jin offloads for Krentz. One step inside. Krentz has got some room. Flips that one out. Zach Como. Zi Jin.
Well, Johnny Rene somehow came up with the ball there.
That's just great anticipatory. It's instinct. That's the kind of stuff you can't teach.
I think that's the magic of Johnny Rene there.
Dingwall for Torrey Morris. Morris lumbers down the field. Morris taken down by Erskine. Ball's out once again. Stoddard drives forward. Lisgar picks it up again. Lisgar continues to drive forward. Jeff Scott taken down. Here's Erskine once again. He offloads for DeWalt. DeWalt on the outside. Jin finds his man. It's Krentz once again taken down at the Hillcrest 22.
Hillcrest managed to get their hands on that ball there.
Ball was knocked on, and Lee Powell allowed them to play the advantage, and a penalty against Lisgar here. No, they're calling the ball knocked on. Johnny Rene coming out of the match. In his stead comes Musashi Takara. And Johnny Rene getting a well-deserved rest. What a match he's played for Hillcrest. Yeah, they're down quite a bit at this point, but they haven't quit.
No, and if I was Coach Jeremy Nybogi, I wouldn't be bringing Johnny off quite yet. Unless he's managed to hurt himself somehow, because we can't see it. It's off camera, but he's gone to the first aid bag, and he's getting some help right now.
Dingwall carries it himself. Zi Jin tries to wrap him up, and he's taken down. But a good run by Mason Dingwall, carrying that 30 meters himself.
So it's unusual to see a scrum half get in there so much. You don't want to lose your scrum half. He's an integral part of the team.
Lisgar line out. Still Less than 15 minutes remaining in unofficial time in this one. And now, fitness levels really show themselves here. And Hillcrest has got 6 starters out of their lineup, and Lisgar looks like they've got a completely fresh bench.
Lisgar looks like they might have a little bit more gas in their tank for the end of this, for the last 13 minutes now in unofficial time. So it'll all come down to this, I guess.
Let's see what Hillcrest has got. Mason Dingwall to set the ball in for this Hillcrest scrum.
Hillcrest really needs to retain possession of the ball here if they have any chance of putting some points up here on the board.
Hillcrest controlling. Takara driving forward. Ran into Zijin, and Zijin certainly took the worst of that hit because Takara outweighed him by about 50 pounds.
Yeah.
But Zijin hung in and took Takara down.
Yep.
And Zijin in there again. And he's in some difficulty on the far sideline. Rather slow to get up, but he's back in it. Hillcrest again. Pat Barton driving forward. Dingwall. That's Graziade. Moves that one up. Connor Grimes can get no further. Here's Corey Hogan. Again, Hillcrest doing their best to move the ball very, very soundly between the 22s. Here's Graziade and an offside pass.
I've don't know what that one is.
Here's the hit. Zijin, number 10 in blue, stopping Masashi Takara. Oh, man. That's one of the reasons why the Lisgar Lords are undefeated and first in the East.
Their little guys can take down the big guys.
Big run.
Oh, wonderful
David
handoff.
Shaw offloads for DeWalt. DeWalt for Erskine. Erskine for Jeff Scott. Ball's loose. Hillcrest coming up with it again. And here's a possession. They try to go out wide. Dana Fripp on the far side gains 5 more.
Hillcrest was standing there like they were expecting a whistle.
Pat Barton driving forward. He takes it to ground. And then a little bit of a push by Graziade on his man in the scrum. It's a penalty against Lisgar. So it will be Hillcrest ball. Not sure what the call was exactly, but it looks like Lee Powell will be... Oh, he's consulting his watch. I thought he was pulling out cards.
That's what it looks like.
And a water break. Timeout called here with about 9 and change remaining in this match. And well-deserved break for both of these sides. They have been hammering at each other here in the second half. Not much scoring, just the one try by Lisgar. All of the scoring, most of the scoring coming in the first half. They led 22-0 at the break.
Yeah, Hillcrest has really tightened up this this half, and we'll have to see if they can use this last 10 minutes.
There's Jack Krentz, 2 tries in this one for Lisgar. And he's been really able to utilize his speed. Look at the first one, Gavin.
There was no one around to even catch him there.
And then the offload from Como.
Jack Krantz is just he's just a player that has got a good awareness of the game, and he's in the right place to get that ball every time.
And Jack Krantz certainly making a case for himself, Gavin, as our Kuhnstadt Sports Man of the Match. But again, that is your task.
That's we'll have to wait 10 minutes for that one.
But Krantz has been certainly making some noise in that department. Lee Powell unsatisfied with the way the two sides engaged in that scrum. So he'll have them do it all over again.
Let's go, Hawks. Come on, boys. Big feet.
Again. Play back underway. Scooped up there by Vincent Giannet. Giannet tries to drive forward. He does. Offloads that. Dingwall could get no further than a meter or so.
Okay.
Giannet once again. Hillcrest trying to power, move it up the middle.
Yeah, they're trying to go through the middle, but this is where they've lost the ball in the past, so we'll just have to see what happens.
Connor Grimes cutting back inside. Grimes keeps the legs going. Wrapped up there by Byron Jones for Lisgar.
Hillcrest has got the overlap on the on the near side for us. It would be whether or not they can take advantage of it.
Giannet taken down. Dingwall out again. Here's Graziade. He had Lascelles, or make that Elliot Boland beside him, but elected to hang on. Here's Lascelles out wide for Connor Grimes. Grimes eludes one tackle, couldn't get through the other. Again, Pat Barton spinning away from a couple of tackles. Ball comes out. Hillcrest trying to form the ruck. Dingwall, Lascelles out wide. On the one hop, scooped up by Anderson. He had to go back for it.
Hillcrest can't drop those balls if they hope to get some more points, get some points up on the board. Every time they make a mistake, Lisgar will be there to take advantage of it.
Johnny Rene back into the match for Hillcrest. I'm not sure who's coming out in his stead.
I believe that's Connor Grimes.
Connor Grimes coming off number 22. He's had a good match too.
I think he's made a few.
Given the circumstances.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think he's made a few of the tackles that have saved Hillcrest from having a higher lead. Not a higher lead, but more points to catch up on, sorry.
Lascelles out wide for Johnny Rene. Rene once again with a burst of speed. Moves the ball up 20 meters. Rene wrapped up. Ruck forms. Hillcrest trying to dig the ball out. Dingwall. Krantz a little offside. Play continues. Torrey Morris keeps the legs driving. Nice open field tackle there by the Lords.
Quick, basic, quick! Johnny, be there, Johnny! Quick!
Hillcrest trying to take it quickly. Dingwall lost his mouthpiece. Johnny Rene scoops up the loose ball, heads to the right side, cuts in, tries to go wide, but they had him by the back of the shirt. Number 27, Byron Jones, just there to corral Johnny Rene. Lisgar again. Out to the wide side. Number 18, Jung Young Chang. Lost control. That ball knocked on or into touch?
Flags up. I think he knocked it on, and then it very messy ball, and then went out into touch. Though we saw Lisgar trying to take advantage of the out wide, where they've scored all their other tries.
And it'll be a line out. at the midfield stripe. And it's a Hillcrest lineout, but they can't maintain possession. Again, Erskine offloads for DeWalt. Advances a few short meters, and offside called there. Ball knocked on, and I suppose they were playing the advantage. And Lisgar gets possession at midfield.
They're going to go back to the first knock on from the line out. He lost it to the other team. Sorry, when Hillcrest lost it to Lisgar. Should probably be more specific.
Lisgar scrum. Little less than 5. Remaining in unofficial time. Lisgar well in control of this one. 22-0 at the break. And second try by Jack Krentz. And here's a chance for Takara. Takara busts through. And the call against Lisgar.
It wasn't, I believe that was not letting Takara get out of the way so that Hillcrest could keep the ball moving.
Graziati. Busts that through. LaSalle for Takara. Takara held up by Como and waited for some help to arrive. Johnny Rene cutting back into traffic. Rene trying to bust forward. Wind picking up here in the final minutes of this one. LaSalle out wide, cutting back in. I believe that's Ryan Kidman or Michael Rhodes, number 26. Loose ball, and everybody going after it. Finally, play comes back, and it's going to be a penalty against Lisgar. Less than 3 minutes. Do you want to get some points, or do you go for the try?
Difficult choice. And
They're going for the try.
They're going for the try.
Graziati. Bust forward. It's a source of pride now for both sides. Lisgar doesn't want to be scored against. They want their 4th clean sheet in a row. Hillcrest wants to blank that ball, knocked on off the face of Jordan Andrews.
He doesn't look very happy about that one. I think he had a rough pass on that one.
Here it is, and it was a quick pass.
Ooh. I think the one who was passing it to him was expecting him to be a little bit further back on that one when he fired that rocket at him.
So, Hillcrest scrum. No, Lisgar scrum. Lisgar breaks it. Como gets it out, boots it away, but not before a penalty called by referee Lee Powell. Back in the area where the ball was set in play.
And this is just eating up time for
Lisgar.
For Lisgar right now. The ball is we're still going. The game is live. A little on 45 seconds left of unofficial time here. The question, I think, at this point will be, will Lisgar be able to keep up their streak?
Less than 30 seconds to go. Lisgar has set the ball in. It's back out. Como for Andrews. He gets the ball again.
Knocked on there.
Knocked on, absolutely.
That's twice now, though, that he's knocked on the ball.
Look where you are. Put one up. Let's go. Red, finish hard, boys. Finish hard. Go, Hillcrest.
Head coach Jeremy Nybogi of the Hillcrest Hawks imploring his boys to finish hard. No doubt John Ruff on the Lisgar sideline instilling in his boys. He wants the same kind of effort. Dingwall gets the ball out. LaSalle, Takara, Johnny Rene. Rene scoops it up. He offloads that one for Barton. Barton taken down after a couple of steps. Dingwall. Back out. Hogan. Graziade has it on the far side. Offloads that one for Torrey Morris. Morris for Barton. Barton. Anderson has it now for Hillcrest. He's wrapped up. Just outside the Lisgar 22. One last gas. Barton. LaSalle. Make that Giano. Genet moves in. Inside the 22. Lisgar trying to hold them off. Ball's out. Scooped up. They drive forward. Do the Hawks.
Do they have what it takes here? They're so close.
Giannet with it, drives forward about 10 meters out. Hillcrest again. Dingwall trying to push forward. Dingwall moving the ruck toward the try line. Play called. What's the call? From referee Lee Powell.
The ball not coming out of the maul there. Oh. There must have been something over there that he saw that we didn't.
Mason Dingwall's directly in front of the posts here. They want to try. And they try it again. Giannet. Giannet. Still with it. Still on his feet. Giannet offloads. Barton can't get in. About a meter out. Hillcrest trying to drive it forward. They move it out. Again. Stopped in front. Oh. Ball's loose. Hillcrest has it. Can they push forward? No. Hands in.
I think that's his hands in the ruck signal.
Corey Hogan, slow getting up, favoring his right shoulder.
That looks like it could be a dislocation or a broken collarbone from the way he's holding it. The way it's...
And Corey Hogan's been their hooker, acting as a prop. He's been a big part of the front line and for the forwards for Hillcrest this afternoon. And boy, they can't afford to lose a guy like Corey Hogan as he drives forward there. He's just slammed down into the turf directly in front of the post. Takara wrapped up by the Lords. The maul moves forward. It's directly in front of the posts. Lee Powell right there. No try awarded. Huh. They're not going to come any closer.
They are so close. And if they keep this, up, these stoppages in plays, the game will end.
Quick touch. Giannet trying to get outside, cutting back in. Can he touch it down? Yes. Try awarded. The Hillcrest Hawks are finally rewarded for such hard work here in the second half. Here's a look.
Giannet taking that in, getting a solid 5 points, and conversion was no good by the looks of it.
And that's it. The final 29-5. The Lisgar Lords remain undefeated, but Hillcrest takes small victory out of this one. They scored a try against the league's best team.
Yeah, they were able to do that. They were able to score on the team that had a perfect record. But right now, we really saw how Lisgar was able to take advantage of all of Hillcrest's mistakes and run those balls into touch and put the points up on the board.
Your selection as Coonstat Sports Player of the Game, Man of the Match. Go.
It's going to be who you were pointing out to me a little bit earlier.
Jack Krentz.
It's going to be Jack Krentz. He played a phenomenal game.
2 tries.
2 tries.
And has used his speed to Lisgar's benefit all afternoon. Jack Krentz, our Coonstat Sports man of the match. We'll catch up with him and talk to him after the break. But the Lisgar Lords remain undefeated with a 29-5 win over the Hillcrest Hawks. Don't go far, folks. More of Game Day after this.
Rogers Game Day made possible by Coonstat Sports. With 3 convenient locations in the Ottawa area. Coonstat Sports, chain store prices, family store service.
Think you know what it's like to be a cop? Time to get a little closer with
I'm coming in!
Police POV. It's high-tech meets lowlifes as this elite squad's officer-mounted surveillance modules pull you deep into the action.
Drop it!
Cops with head cams. All the intensity coming right at you like never before. Get ready to get up close and criminal. Police POV. Tuesdays at 9. Only on Action.
Call 1-888-ROGERS-1 to order.
My name's Heather, and I've been volunteering with Daytime for about 2 years. Absolutely my favorite part of volunteering with Rogers has been the people that I work with, the staff and the crew. It's a wonderful group of people. Everybody seems to have an up and positive attitude, and it's a team effort. Well, I would recommend volunteering at Rogers TV because for me it opened a whole new world of possibilities.
Jack Krentz with a beautiful first try, and he went in and scored a second to lead the Lisgar Lords to a 29-5 victory over the Hillcrest Hawks and remain undefeated in senior boys Tier 1 high school rugby, at least in the East Division. Jack Krentz, our Coonstat Sports man of the match. 2 tries, Jack. Take us through both of them.
Well, the first one, our hooker, Nick Rogers, got low into contact and sucked the pack in. And then our fly half, Z Jin, picked up the ball and a couple of dummies, and I was right on the outside. And from there, the hole opened up and we went to the end zone. Great burst of speed on the first one. On the second one, good burst of speed and good presence of mind by you to stay with the ball and offer support. It ended up in 5 points. Yeah, the second one, our blindside winger came in, Zach Como, he hit the hole, and from there it was just, he had the ball, and I went right with him, and probably on the 5-meter line I offloaded, and that's the easiest try I've ever scored. Well, 29-0. For the first time this season, your team has given up some points. You gave up a try today. I think that Hillcrest worked so hard in this one with 6 starters out of the lineup. They almost deserved that try, didn't they? Yeah, they were. In the first half, we brought it to them. In the second half, we were tiring up, and credit to them. Good hard side, good physical boys. And in the last 5 or 10 minutes, they were really bringing it to us on our goal line. And, yeah, I'll give them that one. They deserve that one. That was well fought. 4-0 now. In your estimation, can this team go all the way? Yeah. We've been at this since 7s, and most of us have been at this since September. And we got a lot of seniors this is their last year of high school rugby. We've been at this since grade 9. And we want it. They want it. Congratulations, Jack, on a great game. Thank you, sir. Jack Krentz, our Coonstat Sports man of the match. 2 tries in leading the Lisgar Lords to a 29-5 victory over the Hillcrest Hawks in senior boys Tier 1 high school rugby. For Gavin McOney and our entire Rogers TV crew, I'm Dan Mooney. Thanks so much for the company. We'll see you next time on Game Day. Thanks a lot. Well done, Jack.
Rogers TV